And another significant person following him would be Catherine the Great. She would take more territory again. Her specific focus was the area of the Crimea. She was very interested in that. And the Crimean War, it was fought basically in 1854, just as Elpis Israel was being finished. And then we had, of course, Tsar Nicholas I, which was 1894, and they would push out Russia to these boundaries that you see here. And then there would be those extra areas that were added under the Soviet states later on. Now, that would be Russia at its extent. But what's interesting is the ambition of these people. Catherine the Great, who followed Peter the Great, she came to the throne in 1762, so that's about 37 years after Peter died. And she reigned all the way to 1796, so that's basically 7 years after the French Revolution. But she picked up on Peter's policies and extended the borders of Russia southward and westward to absorb what they called Nova Russia, New Russia, what we would call Ukraine today. That's partly why there's a big argument over there. The Crimea, which she took off of the Turks, and the Northern Caucasus, the right bank of the Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, and other places, but basically took them from the Ottoman Empire and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. And so she added a massive amount of territory. What she was specifically interested in, though, was what Peter also had wanted, was the warm water ports in the south of Russia in what is the Black Sea, because the northern part would always freeze in the winter, and that would put an end to the Russian Navy. Having the Crimea, and specifically Sevastopol, they would be able to basically launch from here into the Mediterranean and continue on their designs. And their designs are put in this imperial stride, a cartoon back in the day, where you can see that Russia, Catherine the Great, is stepping over into Constantinople, because that was the capital of the Tsars prior to the Turks. So they've always looked at that as a place that they want to take, and this was an ongoing issue. So she took the Crimea and basically focused her area there. A successor of her, some 70 years later, Tsar Nicholas, in 1853, the Crimean War would be fought all around Sevastopol, but the reason was Nicholas was trying to push south, and he wanted to go into Palestine and repatriate Constantinople and Jerusalem and all the Russian-speaking peoples, which we've heard that concept several times, right the way down. And so that war, the Crimean War, the first Crimean War in 1853, of course, Russia lost. The Ottomans joined with the French and the British, and they fought against the Russians and put an end to this after 11 months.
For a deeper understanding of the Eastern Question and Russia, read An Appeal on Bible Prophecy. Where Does Turkey Fit In? By Percy T. Magan.